everybody. Back in early 2015, before Windows 10 was released, Microsoft made an announcement, a very unfortunate announcement, that Windows Media Center was being discontinued and not being included in Windows 10. And when this happened, there was one company who essentially shot themselves in the foot. That is Ceton Corporation. Ceton Corporation manufactured tuner cards, not just TV tuner cards. They were very special tuner cards. They were cable card devices. Now there are other companies out there who make cable card PC TV tuners. The other notable manufacturer out there would be HD Home Run. They still have the HD Home Run Prime. But Ceton manufactured several different models of cable card devices. The first one was the Infinity 4. It's a 4-tuner PCI Express tuner card that goes inside the PC. And they also had a USB version of this. And later on they came out with the Infinity 6, which was a 6-tuner device. And alongside that they released the Infinity 6 Ethernet device. It was a standalone network device that essentially behaves like their PCI Express products, except it is actually a standalone network device. Yeah, the PCI Express products did not show up to your PC as a sound, audio, or video device. They showed up to your PC as a networking device. And it's safe to say that these products were not problem-free. They did have issues. The Infinity 4 products were riddled with problems. I had to RMA this particular Infinity 4 2 or 3 times. And on the final time that I RMA'd it, I think it was the second time it was the final time I had to RMA it, they sent me back an Infinity 6 since I had, as a sign, just saying, we apologize for the problems you've had with your device. So they sent out an Infinity 6. And the Infinity 6 is not even in service right now because due to a tight budget, I cannot really afford spending money on a cable subscription right now. But that time will come later on, and I will get back on the Windows Media Center train. Let's take a look here at the Infinity 6. This is essentially what the device is. It's a PCI Express tuner that goes inside the PC. Goes inside of a home theater PC. Here's the actual tuner. And your cable card, which you lease from, like, let's say, Spectrum cable, since that's what Time Warner Cable is now called. Spectrum or Comcast, your cable company, you would rent a cable card for a small fee, maybe like $2.50. Rent your cable card and subscribe to a cable subscription, and not to pay for box fees, DVR fees, guide fees, and because Windows Media Center, you get free guide updates. So it's a win-win. You essentially have deleted $20 to $30 plus off your cable bill. This guy here can replace up to 6 set-top boxes. So let's say back when it was Time Warner Cable, they were charging $13 for a box and guide subscription. So you got to think about it. This thing here could save you a ton of money on equipment leases and DVR subscriptions and guide fees, because you're not to pay for those because you have your own device. The Infinity 6 has been pretty rock solid. I didn't have anywhere near as many problems out of this as I had out of the 4. I don't know exactly what the reliability of the Infinity 6 Ethernet device is, but I've heard good things, I've heard bad things about it. If I was to go out and buy one today, I would buy the Ethernet device, just simply because it's not piggybacking your PC. One of the biggest problems that these have is, they use Windows network bridging to share tuners with their network. So for the final days of Ceton, they mentioned, the Infinity 6 does not support network tuners, but in theory it does. I've used it for that. That's how I've used this thing the whole time I've had it, was for utilizing some tuners in the PC. Actually, this tuner card, for most of its service so far, This tuner sat inside the Blackmax and broadcasted all 6 of its tuners to other computers. That's a look at the device. We also have something else to show you from Ceton as well. We'll get to that shortly. And of course, you have the actual tuner card, and you have, let's see, you have this little guy. We'll actually have 2 of them because one of them came with the 4, and they sent me another one. This is the actual coax connection that plugs into the device that you screw onto your cable line. These were notorious for breaking, so it's a good thing I have an extra. That's what they look like right there. So that's the Ceton Infinity TV 4 and Infinity TV 6. That's essentially what they look like. The Infinity TV 4 is just colored red. Otherwise, they look almost identical. So anyways, Ceton came out, the company emerged, I think, in 2010 with the release of the Infinity TV 4. And back then, the price of this device was so freaking outrageously expensive. I think it was like $499. You know, $399 or $499. Yeah, $499 US dollars, which is very high. When we got the Infinity TV 4 back in 2013, yeah, it was 2013. I think it was $199. Is how much. My dad actually bought it because we were using the TV box as the main TV computer at the time. So that was back in 2013, and the Infinity TV 6 retails for around $299. Whether it's the PCI Express or the the Ethernet device. And they also had, let me put this back up. I know this is kind of getting drug out. We got a little bit more information to cover in this video. Let's go and look at another one of their products. This here, it's a Ceton Echo. This is a Windows Media Center extender, which essentially means, you know, instead of having to use a Microsoft Xbox, you could use this little guy instead. And the neat thing about this is its power consumption is extremely low. I mean, it's very, very energy efficient. And that was the key thing Ceton was marketing behind this Echo device, was that it was efficient. It didn't use much electricity to run. Windows Media Center extenders, think of them as thin clients in the enterprise world. You have your thin clients and you have your mainframes, or your servers. These Cetons, extenders in general, were essentially thin clients to Windows Media Center. Your home theater PC acted as a mainframe. So depending on what kind of CPU power your home theater PC had, if you had a crappy processor in your HTPC, expect extender performance to not be so well. Your HTPC made a huge factor in how this little guy here performs. And I've tested this a few times, but I personally have custom designed TV boxes for my other TVs. The advantage of the extender, one of the biggest advantage of them, is if you're on a cable subscription, a digital cable subscription, and your channels are copy protected, like for example with Time Warner Cable, this little guy could play those back without, you could play, you could record those on your TV box or HTPC and play them back on this without any issue. Now what's interesting is, since Charter completely acquired Time Warner Cable, I'm really curious to see how copy flags will be when I get back on the Windows Media Center train. That would be kind of interesting to see. But this here is the Ceton Echo. You get this little guy, you get HDMI cable, you get this USB power cable, which you definitely would want to use the included AC adapter to power it, because the Ceton Echo requires, I think, 1.6 amps, which is well over regular USB power. So your USB port's not going to provide that, and even a lot of phone chargers don't provide that. But 2 amp chargers should do it just fine. But yeah, you definitely want to use the power adapter to power this guy. You wouldn't want to try to power this off of a TV's USB port because it wouldn't be able to supply enough current to power it. So that's the Ceton Echo. You know, the thing about Ceton is, you know, their equipment was very innovative, I think. It come at a late time, though. So anyways, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, when Microsoft announced that they would not support Windows Media Center in Windows 10, Ceton pretty much unofficially shut the doors. We're going to power on this computer here, and we'll take a look at the website. Yeah, that's not going to close up. I'll worry about that later. But essentially, it was back in, I think it was May 2015. Ceton announced, you know, that we are deeply saddened by the fact that Microsoft would no longer support Windows Media Center, and not be worried that Ceton is looking into future innovative ways to support this, you know, I guess you call it mission or whatever, you know, the cause. I'm just thinking of words, you know, to cater to those who like to build home theater PCs. Well, truth is, Ceton has been pretty much dead ever since. If you go to try to buy their products, Newegg nor Amazon do not have them in stock. They're out of stock, and actually, I think Newegg even says discontinued. So if you want to buy a Ceton product like this, your only option now is to buy a used one off of eBay, which I think is, you know, it's really sad, because think of it like this: Windows 7 is supported till 2020. Windows 8.1 is supported till 2023. So you have a lot of Windows Media Center users out there who were just left out in the cold by Ceton Corp. They were just like, you know, oh crap, the sky's falling, you know, it's over. We're shutting our doors. Well, safe to say, you know, there's still a chunk of users out there who would like to buy their products. So anyways, let's go ahead and go on the internet and take a look here. So first, we will close out some tabs here. For example, let's look up Ceton's website. Why not? We'll shut out the light here. I'll leave the overhead light on. There's Ceton. See, their website is still up, and you can browse the site. Like, for example, you can look at the Echo, which, you know, the Echo really is the one that got hit the most by Microsoft, because Windows 8.1 does not support third-party extenders. So the only thing you can use as an extender from Windows 8.1 Media Center is, guess what, the Xbox 360. As you can see, Windows 8 does not support non-Microsoft extenders, including the Ceton Echo. You know, had they released this back in 2005 or 2007, you know, it would have, I think it would have done better. And so you can see where they already discontinued it. Now, if you go to InfiniTV, you can browse their products. Now, they have discontinued the InfiniTV 4. That's been discontinued for a while, because the InfiniTV 6 has replaced it. So we'll go back. You can see senior model. You had the InfiniTV 6 PCI Express, and you have the Ethernet. You can see, you know, they still have the retail price of $299. If you go buy now, you can see the two common outlets for Ceton products, which will be Amazon and Newegg. For example, let's just look up Amazon. And you can see that Amazon doesn't officially sell it. It's available from third-party sellers. And you can look at different buying options and things like that, which is extremely disappointing. And we'll go to Newegg. And you can see Newegg out of stock. This item is currently out of stock and it may or may not be restocked. And we'll go back to the PCIe device on Amazon. See all buying options. Amazon does not currently have it. And Newegg out of stock. It's not available. We'll go back and you can, let's see, look up support, for example. Let's go to the ticketing side. I'm just curious to see if we can see latest updates. Yeah, the latest update on the ticket site was July 30th, 2015. Microsoft Windows Media Center is not available in Windows 10. If you would like to maintain your HTTP setup, we'd recommend you do not upgrade. Windows Media Center will continue to be supported by Microsoft until they end the life Windows 7 in 2020 and Windows 8 in 2023. And here is a big one, guys. And I'll be honest with you, I've had to argue this with so many people. They're like, use Kodi, use this or use that. Well, read this. I'm highlighting it. There are currently no alternatives to Windows Media Center for cable car protected content on your PC. Simply that, there are currently no alternatives. None, nada, zilch. No Kodi. No, none of those will not work with protected content. Now, yes, they can and will recognize cable car devices, but they cannot play back protected content. They're not licensed to do so. Windows Media Center is the only one that has a license to do so. It's not a question of Ceton supporting other DVR platforms. All cable car tuners are required to use the DRS specification from Cable Labs. This freely available specification allows DVR software packages to control cable car tuners and access copy freely content. To access copy once content, the DVR software must implement a Cable Labs approved form of copy protection, typically WM-DRM from Microsoft. This is why Mist TV, Sage TV, XBMC, Kodi, etc. do not support protected content. Point blank. They clearly explain it right here. These companies are free to implement copy protection, and no development or support is required from Ceton to enable protected content in DVR software which comply with the Cable Labs specification. These software developers would have to work with the encryption vendors, support guide data, and pay licensing fees to implement the required encryption and meet the legal requirements surrounding DVR software and cable car technology in their products. So, yeah, that's the latest update they have was from, oh wow, almost 2 years ago. Now, for example, let's look up Ceton on Twitter. Here we go. We at Ceton are very sad to hear of Microsoft's decision to discontinue Media Center on Windows 10. Media Center continues to be ahead of its time with features and innovations still not found on set-top boxes. Rest assured, Ceton is continuing to develop new innovative platforms for the delivery of both audio and video into consumers' home. I call BS on the third one because guess what? May 4th, 2015. That was the last time they posted, and they have essentially been dead ever since. Nothing. Not a single thing at all. Whatsoever. Yep. Ceton is officially... it's safe to say Ceton is officially dead. I'm surprised the site is still accessible. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised they hadn't even closed up the website. So if you're wanting to buy a Ceton product, I mean... it's like your only option really is to, go on eBay. See, for example, let's look up Ceton Infinite TV. Your only real option now is to buy used products from people on eBay. Which, you know, to be honest, a lot of stuff is actually selling for cheaper than it was new. Like if you want to get your hands on an Infinity TV 4, I mean, you can place a bid for $15 or buy it now for $40. So yeah, it looks like your only real option these days, if you're willing to buy this stuff, is, well, you gotta buy it used and, you know, second hand, because the manufacturer no longer really is you know, they exist on the internet, but they apparently do not even exist in real life anymore. Honestly, I think the only reason the site is there is to support existing users with driver software and such. And it's very sad. It's very, very sad. And, you know, it's been 2 years almost since Windows 10 has been released, and it's been almost 2 years since they announced that we are pulling the plug on Windows Media Center. But truth be, if you're running Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, you might be wondering, for those who don't use Media Center, might be wondering this as well. You know, I think it was back in July 2015, Microsoft switched guide providers. They went from, I forget the name of the old one, but the new one is called Rovi, and they're not quite as accurate with some of the data on the guide, but it's the same provider, I think, that supplies Xbox One users. So I would think that guide data will be available for the foreseeable future. And I think, you know, if it's past 2020 and I'm still using Media Center on Windows 7, on that 7 installation, I would probably just go into Windows features and disable a crap ton of things, like, you know, the things that aren't required for Media Center, and, you know, things like that to work. Try to make this machine more secure by disabling functions that, you know, are of no use to the machine. You know, because I'm sure you guys might know that, you know, all my other desktops and laptops and such have Windows 10 on them, but the home theater PCs, like, you know, the TV Box Slim, for example, has Windows 7. All the TV Box machines I have will have Windows 7 for the foreseeable future. You know, people have tried and have been pretty successful with getting Windows 10 to run Media Center, but when you factor in one copy cable, one copy flag channels on, you know, your cable card, that's where things get kind of hairy. Which, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen, you know, because I'm eventually going to get back on Media Center. This is whenever my budget can afford it, afford a cable subscription rather. Whenever I do go back to, you know, you pay for TV, it'll be interesting to see, with, you know, since Spectrum is now what used to be Time Warner Cable, since Charter now owns Time Warner Cable, it'd be interesting to see how Charter handles copy flagging their channels. So, anyways, yeah, I know we're already over 20 minutes in, but it's really sad, I think, because Ceton, you know, although their products did have bugs in them, especially the Infinity TV 4. They were pretty innovative with their products, I say. It's just a little late in its time, I think. Now, with Windows Media Center, the reason why I think Media Center never really caught on is because Microsoft never really marketed it. You know, they'll market the crap out of Office or, you know, other Microsoft products, but they never really pushed the Media Center initiative. I honestly think, you know, if Media Center was, you know, more out there in regards to, you know, awareness, you know, more people were aware of it, I think a lot of people would rather use the Media Center route rather than paying, you know, X cable company for, you know, a subscription to their DVR service, or have to pay for their boxes and, you know, all that crap. Because in a case like this, where you have just the cable card device and no other TV equipment from, you know, Time Warner, or, you know, anyways, no other TV equipment, you're actually entitled for what's called a bring your own box. I think it's like you get like a discount since you bring your own box. Yeah, bring your own box credit, I think is what it's called. When you don't, lease any TV equipment from the cable provider other than, say, your cable card. So you'll be eligible for that. There's so many initiatives to do this. Now the Ceton route does require some technical know-how, and a lot of Media Center in general did require some technical know-how to set it up and get it running. But Media Center was so far ahead of its time, and it still is ahead of its time, I think, and considering what you can get from other, for example, TiVo, you have to pay them for, you have to subscribe to their guide, and Windows Media Center was simply, it offered an interface to watch and record live TV content with a guide, along with the ability to play back music, movies, videos, and back in its heyday, you had access to Netflix through Media Center and other things. That's something that my parents used to use back in the day when Media Center was still in the living room. They used to watch Netflix on it as well, alongside TV. It was, I tell you, one person who really enjoyed it was my mother. She enjoyed, being able to watch and record, live TV, and not, wasn't costing them any extra because there was no DVR subscription required, no equipment fees for DVR because the equipment was consumer owned. So yeah, it's really sad to see what's going on these days. And of course, a lot of people are cutting the cord altogether and going to streaming. I'm not really. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm still kind of old-fashioned in a way. I prefer just to have access to TV, pay for TV, because there are some things you can get on pay for TV that you can't get over, like you say, Netflix, other streaming methods. Yeah, just for an example. So, anyways, that's one company who has essentially, died, and leaving enthusiasts of HTPCs out in the cold. I mean, in 2015 they done this, and back then they still had 5 more years of Windows 7 support ahead of them. So it's like, yeah, Windows 10 came out, but you still have Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 out there. It's like, why quit now? Why quit now? So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, thanks for watching. Hey everybody, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this video from Q Computer Channel. Remember to like the video, subscribe to Q Computer Channel for more updates, and remember to tick the bell so that you actually get notified of these updates. Did you know that I am also on a second channel that's CubeComp MTDX? Over there you'll find videos of bicycling, weather, elevators, and all sorts of other neat and interesting stuff. Feel free to subscribe to that channel as well. And again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.